In 1984, years before Disney Channel started, a new TV series was supposed to premiere on their network. The show they thought of was named The Buzz and Maggie, but the show never aired that type of year because Jessica the Sicko was still 4 years old, so they said no to it. The Buzz and Maggie is one of my favorite popular children's manga series created by Dave Polsky. There are three anime adaptations. The first one is very obscure and it's very difficult to find. It aired on Disney Channel in 2005 and aired again before it was taken off the air with no explanation given. The saddest part of my job was when the Buzz and Maggie obviously wasn't airing more episodes. It appears to be that there was an episode 65 rule at Disney Channel. It wasn't the same. I, an intern for Disney Channel, found a DVD of the complete series, which many of the staff swore they had disposed since they didn't have a need for it. Believe it or not, since they had disposed of at least 5 Hannah Montana episodes, which was one of the pet peeves with them, the tape I had a sticker on it, which had the title in same handwriting, which what I believe was a Sharpie marker. On the internet, I heard a rumor that Disney Television Animation wanted to continue the horrible, abominated wreck, but Disney Channel refused to give up copyright for the show, so it was discontinued. I heard a colleague of mine, the boss, talk about the future of the Buzz on Maggie, and refusing to give Maggie to Activision, which wanted to create a game titled Buzz on Maggie, The Lego Adventure. Of course, that being said, there might be a good amount of people on this site that might not have much of a clue on who this guy is, so I'll give a quick summary. In fact, as I said, I was an intern at Disney Television Animation for a year in 2002 for my degree in animation. It wasn't paid, of course. Most internships aren't. But it did have some perks beyond education. To adults, it might not seem like a big one. But most kids at the time would go crazy over it. There's long been rumors as to how exactly does somebody see nothing but shapes, and how it escalated to an incident that featured a man gain authority among the townsfolk that are being involved in, oh boy, where was I? Alright, in a violent episode of his school's softball match. According to Disney Television Animation itself, an employee experienced sudden form of dissociation from the real world, which seemed like an acute episode of derealization. The employee saw objects and people as just meaningless shapes. And not really existing, it felt a deep sadness for everything around him, lamenting that nothing was there for him anymore, not everything was just stuff in the universe. Today, I was invited into the editing studio, but you see, it was odd. There was no one in there, only those cost me my internship, but oh god, I couldn't resist the urge. It was overwhelming, encompassing. Oh, I did regret that feeling. From what I gathered in the first week's Disney's existence, the Buzz and Maggie began production. It's always about a fly with pink hair, regular eyes, a blue shirt, and a yellow dress. She would always hang out around the neighborhood and more. As the show kept going, the episodes started to become more unusual. For one example, the Buzz and Maggie would often make the viewers like the show because of the look of the character. Now, you should know that I immigrated from southern Mexico when I was just a young boy. I never knew how to write. I had a computer with a friend of mine who was proficient in Miss Pons type this up. Anyway, the point is that I can't write. And my art class in school never taught me either. Let me tell you something, Broham. I made it to the last day of school, and there wasn't any fun at the end. You can't even reach the end of the school because sometimes the time will slow down every 90 weeks. Because it is an illusion, a trick made up by the eyes to see something beautiful. My life isn't perfect. By the time you reach the end, it's vanished, kind of like my erection. Let's get on to how the show began production. Chapter 1. The show's pilot. One day I heard Dr. John Leguizamo discussing his part of the Buzz and Maggie presentation when the production manager immediately told him to leave angrily, and never to mention the special presentation again. As the animators drew, some members of the animation team were growing tired, and the animation became more and more grotesque. I should know. I was there giving out coffee and other things for the team. I saw them from the sidelines, gathering together and conversing episode they were animating. It was called Maggie Has a Bath. It was going to be to show kids what it's like to take a bath. When the head writer brought all the animators to view the episode, he told the one animation group who were animating the last bits to bring the finalized version, but they did not respond. He went to their cubicles, and when he got there, they were all dead with bloodstains on the bleached tape. The hospital was called, and they were sent to the emergency room as soon as possible, but it was too late. They died of undisclosed causes. We still had the tape, so we decided to watch it in their horror and their hard work they put into it. As we all went to the viewing room, everything was suddenly very quiet. But it wasn't the same. One night I was watching ABC when I realized that I had been up so late that I haven't even kept track of time. It was already 4 a.m. I don't recall ever watching ABC this late, so I stayed awake to see what would happen when it ended. A little bumper showed up at the bottom of the screen during a commercial break. The bumper said that a special presentation of the Buzz on Maggie was about to come on. I was a little confused about an episode of a very popular news show coming on this early, but I was bored and I decided I would watch it. I think it might come on later in the day so I can spoil it for my little brother. I know. I was excited to see this pilot episode so I could see the series premiere before it airs on Disney Channel. So the intro starts out with the city. After a few guitar keys are heard, a loud voice boomed out saying, "Hey!" Shouted by the singer of the intro. It shook the whole room when I heard it. At least my parents did wake up, which was good. But then the intro was cut off and heads to the episode. The show began in 4.5 minutes of pure darkness. Then, after this transitioning, it got to a hospital. All of Maggie's friends sat over her bed without making a sound. I began to get a sickening feeling. Maggie laid on the bed. The machine went to register her heart pumping went beep, 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 beep. Then it happened. Beep! I watched in horror, and then showed a black text on a yellow background saying January 28th, 2193, 1:59 p.m. Weird. Why would the Buzz on Maggie take place in 2193? Notice Mr. Pesky with hands over his mouth. Sorry. Looking in horror and despair, the doctor said, "I declare Maggie Pesky officially." The doctor coughed. He began coughing out blood for 2 minutes before he could continue. Then it cut to Pupert, or what looked like a prototype of him, sitting on a sofa. The strange thing was, Pupert wasn't the official graphic designer during the making of the show. He was a live costume. He said, "Listen here, motherfuckers. I'm sick of Maggie Pesky not around. I'm gonna kill every racist Germ in this world." The shot then panned to a scene of a much brighter contrast. Shippy were taking one of Dad's pills, then running off and smiling, and laughing. The fact that he had to take pills to be, well, himself, made me feel uneasy. Especially because mental disorders and antidepressants are more mature themes that obviously shouldn't find a place in any kid's cartoon. It should be noted that this one was seen on a show intended for kids. The screen then flipped back to the original scene of Maggie still in the hospital, still alive, and distressed. While at the same time changing the contrast back to the darker one. The screen froze on Mr. Pesky for a few seconds, then got to a new scene. That cut to static and the screaming sounds from FUD.WMV, followed by the still sound of two people gagging while Don Peeper mumbled to each other in the background. But it was impossible to understand them. The sound was so realistic as it was nearby my house. It almost makes me sick.